Hello my dear friends, welcome to Java programming playlist. In this video, we are going to study on creating our own class. So we have already seen that there is a class existing, we are taking that class, we are creating the object and using the methods. But in this video, we are going to see how we can create our own class, that is a user defined class. So what is the syntax for creating a class? So this is the syntax given: class and then the class name. Then you have this opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. So this is the part where you are writing all the things about the class. Inside the class, what you can have is you can have the fields or the different attributes that are there in the class and methods that are associated with the activities that the class is expected to perform. Let us see an example of a class. So here is an example of a class, public class employee. So this public is an access modifier that we will see the different access modifier in another video. Then you have this keyword class and then this class name, here it is employee. Now in this class with the name employee, there are two attributes. One is of type integer with the name ID, and second is the string attribute which is having the name as name. Please note this, the first letter of a class should always be the capital. Now my dear friends, this is actually not compulsory to do that, but this is a regular practice that the naming conventions in Java is following the camel case letter. Now what is a camel case letter? So camel case letters are where you are having the letters in capital form in the names that are given. So in class, the rule says that you have to have the first letter capital of every word. So here there is only one word, actually employee. So the first letter here is capital. But let's say if the class name given is employee master, so this name contains actually two words, employee and master. So the first letter of employee should be capital and first letter of master should also be capital. And the same thing follows with the variable name, where what you are doing is you are having the first letter small if the name of the variable is containing multiple words. Then first letter of the first word is small, but then second onwards the first letter of the second, third, fourth and so on word is capital. Any real world object is having properties and behavior. Similarly, the objects of OOP are having attributes and methods. So properties of a real world object is analogous to attributes of objects in OOP, and behavior of the real world object is analogous to methods associated with the objects in OOP. A class with a method. So here we have seen a class which is having only fields or the attributes. Now we are having a class which will have method. So look at this, public class employee. Then you have this public int ID. Here this variable ID is integer and there is no access modifier, but here it is public. So that means you can access this variables outside the class very happily because they are declared as public. So then you have string name which is also public. Now here are these methods, public int get salary, and this brackets will decide the body of this method get salary. Same way there is another method, public void get details, and this curly brackets will decide the range of the body code of this get details. Now whatever you write in this methods get salary and get details are actually hidden from the outside world. What you have to do is you have to create the object of this class employee and just simply call this get salary method. So let's say I have created an object employee EMP, then I have just to write EMP dot get salary and the things will be done. This code which is written inside get salary will be executed, and what is expected is the things that are written in this body of this get salary will do whatever we are expecting. This will get more clear when we will see an example in the next slide. So here is a detailed program that is there. So you have this class employee which is in the package com.company. Then you have this three member variables: integer ID, integer salary, and string name. Then there are these methods public void print details and public int get salary. So here you are seeing that this print details is printing something and it is returning nothing because here it is void. So it will print the ID and the name of the uh, objects associated with this particular class, and get salary will return the salary. So here this return type is integer, so it will return the salary of a particular employee. Now here is this second class which is demo class, which is having public static void main. So here you can see that there is no void main. So void main can be present only in the class which is a public class. So here we are just printing a message that this is a custom class. So now we are instantiating a new employee object, employee John equal to new employee. So here this we are writing the constructor of employee. Now you can see here there is no constructor return. So Java handles this, that there is always a default constructor present in the class. Then John will be initialized. Now setting the attributes of this. So John.id is equal to 17, John.salary is equal to 12,000, and John.name is equal to John. So we have created an employee with the name John and we are setting up the values. So ID is given 17, salary is 12,000 and name is John. Printing the attributes John.print details. So what this will do is it will call this method print details with the values of the attributes associated with the object John. Okay, so it will print only the values of the attributes that we have just assigned to John. Let's say for example, if there is second object employee Harry equal to new employee, and if I write here Harry.print details, so it will print the details of only values that are associated with the object Harry. It will not have any impact on the object value John. Then int salary is equal to John.getSalary. So this get salary is called and it is returning the salary. So John's salary, that is just 12,000, will be returned and it will be stored into this variable salary of the type integer. And then this system.out.println my salary is plus salary. That is, we are concatenating this salary to this method. So what is expected? It will print my salary is 12,000. So let us see what will be the output. So if you write this program, compile it and execute it, you will get the output that is just mentioned here. So the output you will get is my ID is 17. This where you will get from? So John.print details. Now print details will call this. Here it is my ID is and the ID value. Now what is the ID value here? So ID value associated with the object John is 17. So it will print my ID is 17. Then my name is this name. Now what is the name here? John. So my name is John. And my salary is the salary. Now where we are getting the salary from? We are getting the salary which is associated with the object John, which is actually 12,000. We have just initialized. So it will print my salary is 12,000. So here you can see that the values associated with the object John are intent with that only. And when we are calling those methods which are there inside the class, it will access only the values associated with the object. And in the same way, when we are calling a method which is returning something, in that case also it will return the values which are associated with the object only. So I hope that this is very clear, my dear friends, how you can create your own class and use them. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos on Java programming.